You know that feeling, right? That itch you get, that deep-seated urge to explore, to go where others just won't. But this is a warning. Because there are places on this earth that aren't meant for us. Places that hold on to their secrets with a cold, unforgiving grip. So maybe you're looking for that next big thrill, that story that no one else has. You're mapping out a trip to some remote, forgotten corner of the world. But hey, before you book that ticket, before you even tell anyone where you're going, you need to hear this. See, these aren't just ruins or some abandoned buildings. These are places with a reputation, a history that's written in fear. And that history, it's still being written. And they're waiting. Okay, so let's dive right in. Our first stop, Bongart Fort in India. Now, the danger here isn't something modern. No, this is ancient. It's something baked right into the very stones by centuries of whispered legends and a sense of dread you can actually feel on your skin. Just try to imagine being there as the sun goes down. The air gets cold, but it's a kind of cold that has nothing to do with the temperature. All the sounds of the jungle start pressing in on you, and suddenly every shadow seems to move. Every gust of wind sounds like a warning. This place feels alive, and it is not happy you're there. I mean, this place was built back in the 16th century, and it was a thriving town. You can still see the skeletons of palaces and temples, proof that it had this grand past. But then, something went terribly, terribly wrong. The whole bustling city was just abandoned. And how it fell, it's a total mystery that history just can't solve. Only folklore even dares to whisper an answer. So, what really happened here? There are a couple of stories. Was it the ego of a prince who built his palace just a little too high, casting a shadow that violated a holy man's sacred space and unleashed total destruction? Or was it something darker, the spurned rage of a sorcerer who with his dying breath cursed the princess he wanted and her entire kingdom right along with her? Two different stories, one devastating end. Which one do you believe? You know, in the end, the real historical truth is just lost to time. But when that sun sets behind those crumbling walls and the voices start to rise up from the trees, the only thing that feels real is the curse itself. And you start to wonder if you're ever going to leave. All right, from ancient curses, we're going to travel to a place where the horror is a lot more modern. It's tangible, and it's terrifyingly human. We're talking about the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. This isn't about ghosts from the distant past. This is about very real violence and despair that's literally soaked into the floors and the walls, a kind of darkness you can still smell. An extra bit of insanity. That's how people describe it. It's not just bad luck. It's not just a rough neighborhood. It's something more. Like a concentration of darkness that seems to attract and then amplify human tragedy. It's a place that seems to call out to broken people and then breaks them even more. The history of this hotel is just relentless. I mean, from its early days, it became a hotspot for mysterious deaths, for suicides. In the 80s, the infamous serial killer Richard Ramirez actually called the Cecil home. And of course, more recently, the entire world was horrified by the case of Elisa Lam, whose bizarre final moments in an elevator were caught on camera before her body was found in the hotel's water tank. Some guests say you can still hear her in the hallways. People call it the Heartbreak Hotel. But this isn't some cute nickname born out of romance. No, it's a testament to the sheer volume of lives that were shattered, broken, and just ended inside that building. How many ghosts do you think walk those halls? Seriously, what if you checked in? Would you be brave enough to press the button for the 14th floor where Richard Ramirez stayed? Would you try to understand what that energy is that just seems to cling to that place? What do you think you'd find if you really went looking for it? And now, we've come to our final destination, a place where the horror is absolute, it's inescapable, because the enemy is silent, it's invisible, and it never, ever leaves. The ghost city of Pripyat in Ukraine. This place was a bustling, modern city, home to almost 50,000 people, and now it's this chilling monument to a catastrophe. School books are still lying open on desks, like the kids just stepped out for a minute. Dolls are left in cribs, waiting for a hug that will never come. And that massive Ferris wheel just stands there, completely still, a silent icon of a life that was just snuffed out. Here's what happened. On April 26, 1986, the nearby Chernobyl nuclear power plant's reactor 4 exploded. It was the single worst nuclear disaster in history. It released this massive cloud of radioactive particles that just drifted over Pripyat and a huge part of Europe. An invisible poison fell from the sky, and nobody even knew. 36. It's just a simple number. But in the story of Pripyat, that number represents a fatal delay. 36 hours. That's the window of time when an entire city was just left to die, without even knowing what was happening. For 36 agonizing hours, while this deadly radiation was just raining down on them, the people of Pripyat were told nothing. They just went about their lives. Kids played outside in the radioactive rain. But soon, people started getting sick with this mysterious illness, acute radiation poisoning. By the time the order to evacuate finally came, it was too late. The damage had been done. And today, decades later, the city is still empty. The buildings are decaying, falling apart, but the radiation is still there. It's a permanent, unseen threat that has made this place utterly forbidden, and it will be for thousands of years. So whether it's a vengeful spirit in a cursed fort, or the echo of human misery in a hotel, or the radioactive ghost of a fallen city, these places aren't truly empty. They're filled with stories, with pain, with something that lingers. So I'll ask you again. Are you sure about that solo trip? Because some places, they don't want you to leave.